We hear about Society 4.0 all the time. But what happens when everything becomes digital? What happens then to society? Everything automated. AI takes over basically everything. Smart factories, digital transformation, not just businesses, not just production, but institutions, media, politics, identity. And that is what Society 4.0 tries to explore. This book. In this video, I'll explain what the book argues, what I found strong, where I have questions, and how it connects to my own work and do the roadmap. Let's start with the question, what is Society 4.0? The book builds on the idea that society evolves in stages. We had Society 1.0, agrarian. We had Society 2.0, industrial, and not very long ago we came into Society 3.0, the information age. And now Society 4.0, a hyper-connected digital society. The argument is that digitalization is no longer just a technical shift. It's a structural shift in power, communication and responsibility. Platforms replace institutions. Algorithms shape perception. Data becomes influence. And that has consequences. Now let's look at the core themes of the book Society 4.0. Technology reshapes power. In Society 4.0, power shifts. It shifts from traditional institutions to digital platforms. Companies that control infrastructure, social media, cloud services, data ecosystems influence the public discourse more than the government sometimes do. And that changes accountability. Then we have narrative and emotional framing. And this is one of the strongest parts of the book, is how it explains the narrative framing. Political, societal debates are no longer purely about facts. They are about identity, emotion, moral positioning. And in a digital society, speed beats depth. Emotion beats nuances. Then we have the trust crisis. The book also discusses declining trust in institutions, in governments, in media, in experts. And when trust erodes, symbolic figures become powerful. And once politics becomes symbolic, compromise becomes harder. And the last theme is responsibility in a digital age. We have the question, who is responsible for Society 4.0? Is it the platform? Is it the algorithm? Is it the individual user? Or is it the state? And the book argues that responsibility becomes diffused. And that makes governance more complex. Now, what did I find strong? What I appreciated about this book is that it tries to analyze systems rather than attack individuals. It doesn't simply blame technology or voters or elites. It tries to map patterns. And that I value. Because if we want to understand change, we need structure and not outrage. At the same time, I sometimes wondered, is the analysis too Western focused? Is the narrative slightly pessimistic? And how much of the shift is truly new versus just a continuation of historical patterns? Every technological revolution, it created disruption. Printing press did, radio did, television did. So the question is society 4.0 fundamentally different or just faster? For sure it is faster. For me, reading this book, it connects directly to my work in IT, in governance and information security. Because when you implement systems, policies, compliance frameworks like ISO 37001, you are not just managing technology, you are managing trust. So, security, you could say, is not just encryption and firewalls, it is confidence in systems. And in a society 4.0 world, trust is infrastructure. And that is why I read books like this book on my context roadmap. Not to become political, but to understand the environment in which technology operates. Who should read this book? I think that this book is valuable for IT leaders like myself, for policy interested readers, for people interested in media dynamics, anyone trying to understand polarization and digital influence. If you're looking for technical details, this is not that book. If you want a systemic reflection, it is worth your time. And this version, by the way, is in English. And I do believe there's also a Dutch version. But I read the English version. Now over to the rating. I always rate a book on how valuable the read was for me, and also with the question, will I read it again? And I would rate Society 4.0 4 out of 5. It's a strong analytical read. It won't give you simple answers, but it helps you ask better questions. And in a rapidly digitizing world, asking better questions may be more important than quick solutions. Now, this was my review of Society 4.0. It is part of my broader reading roadmap. So in my reading roadmap, I'm balancing learning books with context books. Because understanding systems is just as important as building them. If you're also building your own roadmap or systems, let me know what you are reading. If you're not yet subscribed, you can subscribe. Giving a thumbs up, that can also really help with the YouTube algorithm. And I'll see you in the next entry of Ari's quest log.